Hello, I'm attorney Boyd Shepard. I'm a lawyer here in Houston, Texas, and I provide legal services, representation, and counsel to Texas dentists and hygienists. Welcome back, and thank you for watching the LegalDental.com YouTube channel. Please remember to click the red subscribe button below and also click the notifications bell to receive notifications of when new LegalDental.com videos are uploaded. In this video, I'll be discussing getting it right for the associateship as to the employer, dentist contract negotiations. It's very important that dentists as business owners have a basic understanding of contract law. They should seek the advice of an experienced attorney if they have any questions with respect to the enforceability of any agreement, and it's always best to get that advice in advance rather than after the fact. In other words, when you're entering into an agreement rather than after you've signed off on a document. Obviously, contracts can be written or oral. It's highly recommended that if you're going to enter into any type of an employment agreement, certainly you want to document everything in writing. And the reason you want that is for the following reasons. First of all, it's important to get everything in writing bluntly to protect each other or yourselves from the dishonesty of the other party. That's what the contract is for, so that you can refer back to it if there's any question about anything that was discussed or promised. It states the terms of the relationship. It's something, again, to refer back to if there's ever a question with respect to what is expected of the other party. You might not be able to think of everything that should be addressed in this type of arrangement or relationship if you agree to everything verbally, whereas if you document everything in a contract and you do it correctly, you will most likely cover 90 to 99% of anything that might arise during the course of that contract agreement time. As far as strategies, having it in writing allows you to get everything sorted, thought through in advance so that you can negotiate those terms effectively and efficiently so that you can move from a first draft to a final draft, and this allows you or both parties to establish a rapport, communication, and respect of each other and what the expectations are and needs are in that contract agreement relationship. There are several points to negotiate in an employment agreement, and that should be negotiated from an employer perspective. The items that you're going to want to negotiate or will be negotiated by the employee and that you need to be prepared for are the following. Certainly the length of time or the term of the agreement. How long is this contract agreement for? I always recommend that the initial agreement between any parties in a dental practice, the owner and the associate, should only be for 1 year. And then if you ever want to enter into longer agreements, certainly you can do that, but the first agreement should always be for 1 year. Certainly compensation is a big ticket item. The terms of compensation, it might be on collection, it might be on production, it might be a daily rate. There's several formulas and ways of doing it. It's just what fits this particular relationship. The State Board of Dental Examiners Rule 108.8 also provides and regulates the ownership of dental records and gives instruction and mandates how records should be handled at the termination of an employer-employee relationship. You want to make sure that the contract covers the ownership of records at the termination of the agreement. Additional items will be obviously from a tax accounting perspective, characterizing the employee as either an employee or an independent contractor. The Texas Workforce Commission as well as the IRS have criteria for determining this. You're going to want to get the advice of a lawyer or a CPA or both as to what is the appropriate characterization based on several criteria. Get professional advice to make sure that you get this part right. You're going to want to dictate the duties as well as not only the employee but also the company or the owner of the practice. This can go a long way to help characterize or define employment versus independent contractor status as well. Additional items to negotiate and to be prepared to negotiate are going to be the hours, vacation, sick time, benefits. All of this should be spelled out in the agreement. What are the terms for terminating the agreement? How much notice shall be given? Usually notice is always given in writing. Obviously, there's going to be non-compete covenants. There's two types of restrictive covenants typically in these agreements, and those are not only the non-compete, which is for the geographical area and time, but also the non-solicitation clause, which restricts soliciting former employees or customers of the practice. All of this is typically in an employment agreement, associateship agreement, and you need to be prepared to negotiate all of these items and know what your deal breakers are. This is a form that I have available at legaldental.com. It's essentially 70 to 75 different questions and thoughts and concepts that you should be thinking about in the negotiation of any employment arrangement. These are questions to ask at the interview. These are questions to contemplate for yourself, whether they are asked or not. But know the answer to all of these questions. Get your head around the relationship, and many of these you may not have to address at all, but it's a very, very comprehensive list of thoughts that need to be considered by both the employer as well as the potential employee or independent contractor before entering into an associateship agreement. This form is available at legaldental.com. And so, to summarize, whether or not you're an employer or an employee, you are going to most likely be presented with an associateship agreement in writing. It's important to know how to negotiate, as well as what terms are negotiable and what terms to look for, and to know what your deal breakers are. It's a complex legal matter. It should not be taken lightly. These agreements should be in writing and not verbal. And it's important to get the advice of professionals, your CPA, certainly an attorney, in the drafting and negotiation of these documents so that you can get the best result possible. The amount of fees that you might pay up front will certainly save you dollars on the back end if there's a problem with this type of agreement and fighting any type of dispute that could have been avoided in advance. So, I hope that you found this video to be helpful and educational. Please see the link in the description below this video to access forms available from legaldental.com. Please be sure to check out additional videos available here on the legaldental.com YouTube channel. Again, I ask that you subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell to receive notification of new uploads of videos, and I will see you then. Thank you again for watching.